Hey friends, it's your boy SVH coming at you with today's bowl of Saki by Hazrat Inayat Khan for August 20th, 2024. And today is actually the birthday of the late great Dimebag Darrell from the band Pantera, one of the guitar players that really influenced me a lot, and I've had the privilege to work with his estate on some projects that are coming out later this year. So just went down to the Rainbow Bar and Grill for a big birthday bash celebration for Dimebag today. So it was an honor to be invited and be a part of that. And just riding the high from being able to hang out with some good friends and talk to some people and just kind of reminisce a little bit about a great guitar player that we lost, unfortunately, way too early. So happy birthday, Dimebag, and appreciate all that you gave us in the musical realm. So, yeah, with that said, let's move into today's bowl of Saki. Cleverness and complexity are not necessarily wisdom. Cleverness and complexity are not necessarily wisdom. So, yeah, I mean, this is a thing where, we live in a time and age where, especially now, people try to one-up another person or get over on somebody, if you will. By means of being clever or complex. If I can be clever or say something witty or say something that makes you look bad but makes me look good, then that's cleverness, right? And then I got one up on you. Or complexity, people try to talk in a way that is overly complex or overly detailed, trying to act like they're maybe better than another person in terms of their knowledge and wisdom about a particular subject or something like that. Or people speak very matter of fact about things that maybe they don't really know all the facts about as it is. But this idea of cleverness and complexity not necessarily being wisdom, because the wise are the ones that can really win the day. And they don't have to do it with cleverness or complexity. The real wisdom is really experience. So it's those that lead their lives by experience and by the experience of others. Being inspired by and listening to and learning from the experience of others that becomes true wisdom over just learning how to be clever or learning how to say things with complexity in a way that drowns out any doubt that you're not the expert on that subject, right? So those are just a couple thoughts that I had about today's bowl of Saki, but I'll share some commentary here from Murshid on this subject. Man likes complexity. He does not want to take only one step. It is more interesting to look forward to millions of steps. The one who is seeking the truth gets into a maze, and the maze interests him. He wants to go through it 1,000 times more. It is just like children. Their whole interest is in running about. They do not want to see the door and go in until they are very tired. So it is with grown-up people. They all say that they are seeking truth, but they like the maze. This is why the mystics made the greatest truths a mystery, to be given only to the few who were ready for them, letting the others play because it was their time for them to play. For spiritual attainment, we do not need to pay a tax. It is ours. It is ourself. It is discovering ourself, finding ourself. Yet what one values is what one gets with difficulty. Man loves complexity so much, he makes a thing big and says, "This is valuable." If it is simple, he says, it has no value. That is why the ancient people, knowing human nature, told a person when he said he wanted spiritual attainment, "Very well, for 10 years go around the temple, walk around it 100 times in the morning and in the evening, go to the Ganges, take pitchers full of water during 20 or 50 years, during 20 or 50 years, then you will get inspiration." This is what must be done with people who will not be satisfied with a simple explanation of the truth, who want complexity. We read in the Vedan, simplicity is the living beauty. Man today has made life so complex that whatever he seeks after, he wants to find it in complexity. All things in life which have importance, beauty, and value are simple and simplest of all things is the divine truth. The truth is not a newly invented theory, not a dogma, not an idea. It is reality itself. At the back of it is the self of man, therefore it is simple. But it is not simplicity that man seeks. He is longing for complexity. Anything which will confuse, he is glad to take interest in. If it is simple, he says, I know it already. Man loves complexity and calls it knowledge. A great many societies and institutions in the world, which call themselves occult, esoteric, and psychic, are by various other names, knowing that everyone is interested in complexity over the truth. Instead of covering the truth with one cover, they cover it with 1,000 covers to make it more interesting. Therefore, a mystic very often appears to be simple because sincerity makes him feel inclined to express the truth in simple language and in simple ideas. But because people value complexity, they think that what he says is too simple, and that it is something which they have always known, that is nothing new. However, as Solomon said, there is nothing new under the sun. So, truth is simple. It's not complex. It's as simple as just having a realization and understanding of what it is and experiencing it to where it becomes true for you. And so, it doesn't have to be complex. It doesn't have to be something that's drawn out from multiple years of deep study. Although the more time that you put into studying spiritual work and things like that, the more it opens you and makes you understand. And I think it does raise your consciousness as you go deeper and farther into the spiritual path. But it can be a simple thing that gives you an aha moment and a realization that wakes you up and that makes you realize what life is all about and what you're really about and what your purpose is here and how we can actualize that purpose just in the way that we live. I love this where he says, we read in the Vedan, simplicity is the living beauty. Simplicity is the living beauty. Because the simplest things are beautiful. You just look at a flower, even a blade of grass. You can just look at a blade of grass. If you see it up close in a lot of detail, you can be really just kind of in awe of how meticulously it was crafted and put together, and that this grows out of the ground and we walk on it every day and drive over it and think nothing of it. But the simplicity of it, how beautiful it can be, right? And there are complex, elements to it, but just the simplest little thing like, green grass or a beautiful flower or the sunlight just coming through the room at just the right angle. That simplicity of beauty can really inspire and open something up in you. So, use that as a catalyst to launch you into other areas of life where you can find the beauty in the simplicity of it, and you can find the reality in the simplicity of it. Because we don't really need to be complex all the time. I know I get on here and I talk a lot and I say a lot of these things and share these things, and sometimes I'll go on and on about different thought points, points of view about it. But in reality, it's just the simple truths that when you share them and you take time to really just, soak them in and really absorb them, they reveal things that open up to you even more greater truth than what is just on the surface in that sentence. So that's what I love so much about these bowls of sake every day. It's usually a short phrase or sentence, and that could unpack so many different things in your own mind and evoke a lot of different things from your own soul. But then, we have this commentary that comes from Murshid as well, the author of these or the one who spoke these things in his day. And then, we have other variations of these teachings in other traditions as well that are just spoken differently, So, just love the simplicity of today's message, even though I'm making it very complex at this time. So, with that said, I Hope you guys had a great day. I hope you enjoyed today's bowl of sake, and I will be back again tomorrow with another. Take care.